Welcome to a world of unforgettable experiences and immersive marketing. Transform your events into extraordinary moments that captivate your audience. Whether it's corporate gatherings, product launches, or community celebrations, our immersive marketing solutions elevate your events to new heights. Immerse your attendees in a world of audio books and podcasts tailored to your brand. Engage their senses and leave a lasting impression. Explore the power of storytelling with our curated podcast content. From insightful discussions to entertaining narratives, we've got the perfect audio experience for your event. Ready to make your next event unforgettable? Scan the QR code now and book a complimentary immersive marketing call with our experts. Let's create memories together. Elevate your events with immersive marketing. Scan the code and let the magic begin.
Let's be real. You keep saying you'll get visible after things totally calm down, right? Meanwhile, your calendar is feral, like a crazy cat, all over the place. Colors, you can't even remember what they are anymore. Your inbox is totally on fire. Yeah, you wish you could set fire to it. And later has been lying to you for years because you know what? The truth is, you are the best kept secret, my friend. You're busy doesn't equal visible. Hard work doesn't magically broadcast itself across the radio waves. Nope. That's why the Brew and Stew Media Spotlight exists. That's right. A collaboration between Nicole Borghi and Colleen Stubbs. One booking, two podcasts, no pitching, no chasing, no pretending you enjoy the outreach. We know you don't. Nobody does. You show up, you talk like the authority you already are. Your message gets heard on purpose to an aligned audience. Stop waiting. Stop hiding behind the busy button and book your Brew and Stew Media Spotlight package now, because staying invisible is a choice and you're not going to do it anymore. You're going to be visible. You're going to be influential. Scan the QR code. Make that choice for the Brew and Stew package. Busy, booked, exhausted. Your inbox is screaming at you like a siren. Your calendar is still feral. Still calling yourself visible and you're just the best kept secret? Turns out I was right there with you, my friend. Wasn't getting seen, was just the best kept secret. Wasn't getting heard, definitely kind of getting paid. But here, the magic, my friend. It's a collaboration between Colleen Stubbs and Nicole Borghi. The Voice Lab on the school platform shows you how to use podcast spotlights, summit stages, and simplified, yeah, that's right, simple outreach systems so your visibility actually works. Get seen, get heard, join the free Voice Lab on the school platform, and you're going to get it all. Because if you're working this hard, someone else should know about it. Scan the QR code today. Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of the Pain Point Podcast. And I'm your hostess, this gal with the mostest, Nicole. And I'm here to rock your world with another great guest. But before I bring this mystery guest in today, I want to point you back out to the people that I had on those commercials, right? So what do commercials do? Yeah, I know we all hate them, but you know what? We secretly all learn to love them when we are in business and we are about making money. So in order to bring the show for free, I am able to do that with the people that I have sponsors and that I work with. So there's a few different things that are going on. So go ahead, and if you're into more of the esoteric, check out Forbidden Knowledge. They got some really cool stuff. And Billy Carson has got some amazing things going on. And he is the author of Woke Doesn't Mean Broke. And what does that mean? That we are not meant to live in the poverty. We are meant to level up and flip the script on the 1% and live in our true abundance. So if you're out there in the world trying to manifest everything, then it comes to you and you thwart it away and you don't open the door, you leave it locked behind you, you will not get what you deserve. Yep, van life is great if you're 20. It is not good as you hit the 50s. So let's start to flip the script and support one another. And that's how we do that on a collective basis. So I want to bring my friend in here, Laura Lee Lotto. Yes, Lotto. What a great name, by the way.
Isn't that great?
Winner.
I know. I felt like I hit the lottery when I met my husband, and I snatched him in high school. So I got him early.
You were smart. Yeah. You got your hook in him or on it early. And he has a name that you can pronounce and spell. So that's got to be easy, right? That was a really long name. How many times can you say Borgie 5 fast, right? Who knows? It's just not a common name, which is great because it's not common. But
Right.
I always like to keep it simple, stupid. And that's the acronym KISS here. And the band's really good. But
It is.
let's get into it today because I want you to go ahead, if you would please, tell the audience a little bit about who you are and how you got here, what your business is about.
You bet. Thank you for having me. First of all, this is so fun. My name is Laura Lee, and I am an astrological health coach intuitive. Yes, that is a made up description because I do all the things that are unique and eclectic. So, what I do is I basically read people's birth charts and then I coach them to be their best self and become well in all areas. So, that is health in the physical, health in the emotional, health in the relational, health financially. And we do that through using the blueprint that the cosmos gave them at the time of their birth. And then the intuitive part is driven by all of my spirit homies that I can't see, but I can hear. And they come on in and give some guidance while I'm doing readings. And it's been a really interesting awakening journey for me to step into this authentic role of my own. These last couple of years, I was in the closet as an astrologer for about 25 years. And it was only since the pandemic that I have stepped out of the closet as my true authentic self and been supporting my family and building this business doing this. And it's been amazing and eclectic and fun and weird. So here I am.
Yeah, thanks for being here because you have some great things going on in your life. And we met in a group, so I get to hear a little bit of nuggets of what's going on in your life and your business. We'll get to that in a little bit. Some great and interesting, yes, an eclectic life. It is a trip, that's for sure. But let's start with this because I always love to start with this with our guests. This way the audience knows where we're going, where our journey is, not necessarily how we're going to get there, but where we're going. So even a goal, everything is about strategy, structure, and a goal. Once you have that all in place, then you can be as creative as you want. You can fly around, astro travel, invite your fairies and your Bigfoot friends all to come along in that eclectic pile in the little Mini Cooper and the clown car and drive around if you want. But really, we're going to talk today because I got some notes here, but we're going to solve for a solution. And the reason I love to talk about this is we have pain points. And if you turn on the TV, you listen to the radio, you got friends, family, you've got all this phenomenon and everybody's angry, everybody's frustrated, and they want to tell you how bad their life is. And nobody's listening to them. So it causes more frustration. But in order to stop being frustrated, anger is a good thing. You need to express your anger, but not blow up. But finding for the solution. And that is, I'm a problem solver and a critical thinker. I love this. I love what you're doing here. So you talk about fear. And fear is simple. It's four letters, but it can be massive. And it can stop us from moving forward as an entrepreneur. But on this, really want to talk about that programming where you're not soul aligned. You got programmed maybe in the school system, maybe in corporate America, because corporate America, you have to jump in and get along. But really, instead of being the sheeple, so it's moving forward with self-awareness, which is good for great leadership. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a solopreneur, you want to be a parent, you want to be a leader, you want the respect of a leader. I want respect. You can't have respect until you become a leader from within. So if people are always, I love to say, go within so you don't go without. What say you when you're talking about that fear? Because you have a solution for people to get in a one-to-one virtual call with you so people can find you online. It's a great way to do business. So let's unpack that a little bit.
Yeah. So fear, and I love that you brought up respect. That is in my birth chart. I have 4 planets in the sign of respect, which is Libra. It is one of my karmic missions here is to help people step into respecting themselves and the programming that they were gifted when they were born and really respecting all of themselves and leaning into the fear and recognizing where the fear shows up and then honoring it not moving away from it, but honoring it and then moving through it to break free from it. There is no other way to get past fear other than to move through it and to experience the emotions of and the growth from it. And the birth chart has been an unbelievable tool for me to help people, number one, understand it, right? Understand themselves and the programming that they were given, and whether that's from whatever your belief system is, but everything's frequency. And so the planets all have frequencies and they gift us this frequency, and then we get to work with that program throughout our life and add different things to it, add apps, right? Upgrade the widgets on our desktop, and we get to learn how to work through that. But a lot of times what we'll do is hide from the things that we're scared of, and we suppress and we suppress. And that's when I start to see clients, is when the suppression can't be done anymore because it's starting to leak out, right, into other areas of their life. And it's starting to really kind of rear its head in maybe behaviors. Maybe they're lashing out, like you said, with anger. Anger is an amazing energy that I have dealt with most of my life. And it is a symptom of something else underneath that we've been ignoring. So my job is to help unpack that with clients and sit down and say, let's look at this together. I'll hold your hand and we'll walk through this and understand the fear so that we can learn from it and then grow from it.
Oh, yes, said, because it is all energy, it's all frequency. If you're talking about energy and frequency, are the machines, AI, everything is energetic, it's frequency. We need
Yeah.
more energy, we need more power plants. If we don't plug in our computer, it doesn't work. If we don't plug in our system, it doesn't work. We have to rest, we have to take care of our health, we have to get out and go get some darn sun. It's an important thing. It's innate in our nature and our DNA that we need to get out there and be part of life. Breathe some air, take a walk, get some exercise, talk to people and communicate. And in order to be a more productive entrepreneur, you have to be able to have systems and structures and good habits and healthy habits into place.
Yeah.
You cannot be well. If you suffer, your business suffers. If you don't take control of your business and let people they'll eat you alive. Like
Sure.
people, I think about the people pleaser. We'll do this for free. We'll do this on trade. It only works so long. Their energy is cyclical. And so if you're trading and you're doing for free, you're going to get for free. And you're going to put that out into the universe. That's spinning out in the universe. You'll not get clients.
No.
If you can't have a conversation with yourself, if you cannot acknowledge what's going on in yourself, and that doesn't mean necessarily self-deprecation at all times. It's great for a comedian, but it's not good
Right.
at every moment to listen to that monkey mind. So how much does that have in play with your clients when the mindset, maybe they're coming to you to get a reading, and when you're looking at your numbers and your birth chart, how does that frequency align when you're going to maybe go out and establish a business?
Oh my gosh. What a perfect question. I love this. One of the things, so just a little background on me, you guys, so you all know. I did what I was told to do after high school. I went to college. I went to go get a degree. I took the student loans, get a degree, get a good job, right? I played that role. I went to 6 different colleges for 11 years. I tried multiple different degrees, multiple different schools to try to figure out what worked for me. Ultimately, I ended up graduating with my associate's degree in marketing. It was the longest marketing associate degree I've ever done. And it really taught me that wasn't the path for me, was to go get a degree and get a job. And just so you know, from age 13 to 38, I had 49 jobs. If at first you don't succeed, try again was my motto. That's how I lived. So I tried the whole work for somebody. Ultimately, when I finally leaned into my birth chart, which screams entrepreneur, by the way, screams it. When I finally stepped in and made sure that I was doing my own work and being the leader for myself and my family and dealing with the fear of financial stuff and whatever I needed to deal with, it was like my whole life blossomed like this giant bouquet of flowers all at the same time. It was the most beautiful thing. And it all happened to be right after the pandemic and right while I was having baby number 4 and baby number 5. So I couldn't have planned the timing to be any more horrific, actually, to be literally giving life and then like giving life to this new business. But that's just how the world works sometimes. And we can't always plan out the timing. But it really is amazing because this seems to be the clients that come to me is these people who have tried to do what they were told, right? Go get a job, go get a degree, go get a this, go do this thing because this is what society thinks is safe to work for so many years and then have your pension. And that's cool. And it does work for some people. But for people like me who have no earth element in their chart at all and are very ungrounded and need to stay moving all over the place, entrepreneurship was the only thing that worked for me. And it has been now 3 years of full-time entrepreneurship, and I have thrived. And it has been amazing because these are the clients that keep coming to me and keep getting attracted to me because they are stuck in this, I did what I was told and it's not working kind of energy, but I'm scared to move on or scared to make this next leap. What do I do? Whether it's mom who's been stay-at-home mom for years and is ready to enter the workforce again, but doesn't know if she wants to get a job, or whether it is, I just worked with a man who was in the process of transitioning out of office work into something else that he really wanted to do, but it was very outside his comfort zone and his norm. He wanted to become a baker. So to go from electrical engineering and all of this to becoming a baker, I needed to really help him see that this is his truth and this is his actual programming. And while, yes, this engineering part did fit him for a while, his chart did show this is the growth you're supposed to take. This is the leap you're supposed to make. And he was perfectly timed as well with the transits in the sky. So to have somebody that you don't actually know, like me, who is a complete stranger, come in and validate very specific things that are really personal is something that I don't think many people have really experienced. And when you do, it's really life-changing to feel so seen, especially with these like internal heart wishes and these internal heart dreams of, oh, I want to be a baker, right? But I have this electrical degree and I should be doing this because my dad paid for college or whatever it is, whatever shoulds. And my job is to come and blow up that paradigm very nicely, but blow up the paradigm that they were living in and shift and go, here's the new one, and direct them to the new energy that fits them better.
And but it's the relativity of where you're at. And so when we look at the theory of relativity from a personal level, it's what you understand.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about witnesses, when you witness something, just in court, and my background is law enforcement and security. So when you're talking about witnessing something, witnesses are only as good as their past experiences.
Yes.
They're only as good as their emotional state. So they may see something from their emotion, and you give them the ability of Monday morning armchair quarterbacking the game and saying, look, that doesn't play here. Here's what does. And the magic of the baker is when you engineer, you have to have structure and strategy in place.
Exactly.
Just like when you bake and you cook, if you cook for large amounts of people, or you cook and you want that recipe to be the same, just if you go to McDonald's from here to Timbuktu, you want that recipe to be the same. You want things to stay the same, taste the same, and have that same experience because that's a comfort for the people paying you for your services. So you have to have that innately in you. But if you leave the structure and strategy out, you cannot have the creativity. You have
Correct.
no room for the creativity, and the frequency is all over the place. It's just going to bounce all everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And nothing gets done.
Yep.
But when we're talking even on a different level, and I like to compare it to Marcel Vogel, who I got the splendor of meeting as a child, who invented the Vogel crystal. Without him, that study wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have our laptops. We wouldn't have our phones because there's crystals or connection. And quartz is a repeater. It's an antenna. If you don't have a good antenna and a good system in place, you're not getting the message. You're not receiving at all. And the other thing is quartz quartz allows for whatever object or whatever crystal in its state. Let's just take a amethyst.
Yep.
You want to hit those upper chakras with that purple amethyst. It amplifies the sound. It amplifies the state. It amplifies whatever frequency you want, it repeats the energy, it amplifies it so it can send it out as strong. And so this is what happens when you have the structure and the leadership and the self-awareness and self-preservation, and you're taking care of your mind, body, and soul, and you're in tune and you're aligned, then what happens is you're sending out good messages. And again, back to the business. If you're not doing good, you're not doing what you love, it sucks. It's hard work. But it's never to negate when you're talking about changing from corporate America or from something that you had come back. And yes, the jobs aren't for everybody. However, let's not take as a whole to take away from the corporate structure of getting to something in a timely manner, getting your project done on time, having teams. So team as an entrepreneur, team as a solopreneur, not just your angels and guides on a personal level. You got your soul sister team. And then you've got the team of people. You hire a VA, you may hire an admin, somebody to do your social media, whatever it is, however it works. We've got to be able to support one another. So we need to keep the teams. You need to have some type of structure, because if people cannot rely on you, you're not dependable, you do not work with them, you do not communicate or network well, nobody wants to refer to you. Nobody wants to refer you to other people, and people won't stay as your clients.
Exactly.
And then they don't want any more of your packages. They're done. They don't want to do the business anymore. They don't want to work with your service. Maybe they'll cancel the membership. They don't feel like there's something in there for them. Let's talk about that a little bit on the group dynamic.
Yeah.
Because when people start to go, oh yeah, maybe I should change what I want to do in life, maybe pivot in my role. How does that play? Because it's not all about just one person.
No. And I've done hundreds and hundreds of readings with people in birth charts, and you guys, there is just unimaginable different combinations of how people can be programmed. It's so vast, and there's so many layers to it. And I have helped people shift from, like you said, there are many people that do need to be in jobs and have that structure and do that thing that works for them, and that entrepreneurship would not work for them. And I think that's so important to understand. I helped a lady about a year ago. She was working in trucking. She was doing a lot of the HR stuff for trucking and sending out trucks to different locations. And she was really struggling very bad. And I did a reading with her, and I said, what's going on? How can I help you? And she said, I'm just not feeling fulfilled. I'm not feeling listened to or respected, no matter what company I'm with in this particular industry. And I said, let's look and see. Maybe it's time to make a shift into a different industry. And I looked at her chart, and I really started diving in deeper into the programming of her. And one of the areas she really thrived in was being of service in a way that can help people with transition and with health and all of this. And I suggested maybe working at a hospice unit or in that kind of realm. And she's like, wow, I hadn't thought about that before. And so she ended up looking for jobs in that area and completely shifting away from where she was searching, and started searching in another area. And she ended up getting exactly what she wanted, exactly the pay she wanted, exactly the freedom and flexibility, the coworkers she wanted, because it was more in alignment with the way she wanted to be of service, to really help people in a different way than she was before. She wanted to help in more of a personalized way. The trucking was fine, and helping the truckers get to where they needed and all that was fine, but she personally had made a shift inside of herself, and she just needed a little bit more. And so shifting her over to the hospice realm and the healthcare realm fulfilled that within her. And now she's been at this job for 2 years. She's just thriving. She loves everything about it. And she said, I don't think I would have ever considered this area had we not done a reading. So I think just helping people really understand that we're not here for just one thing, right? Humans are not here to just do one thing. They're here to experience a lot. And we are versatile. We have many different talents and skills. I used to be a professional dog trainer for 12 years. I don't do that anymore because my passion for it started to just wane, and I grew out of that. I still have that skill and talent. I still do it occasionally, but it doesn't light me up the way helping people with their pain point and getting through their fear really does. Although I did deal with fear and aggression with dog training, and I did deal with that. So fear has always been a thing I help people bust through. And it's really been amazing just to see the shifts that people can make going from just one position where they're not feeling respected or heard and into this other realm. Similar positions, right? Similar work position, but different frequency with the people, with the everything. So that just lights me up inside when I can help people be in the vibration that really resonates with them. It's like mashing up your song with this other song, and it just sounds so good. And it's just the best mashup, and your brain just gets tickled with this frequency. You're like, oh, I never would have merged these before. Somehow my brain does this when I do readings for people, and it's just the most fun. I just love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can hear it in your voice, that's for sure. And I'm sure people can feel that, right?
Yeah.
When they speak to you, when they talk to you. And it's important to say, hey, you're doing what you love. And if you're spending time doing it, it comes naturally, especially if you're an energetic being, you're doing energy work. It's just there, you have to be able to clear it and let go. If it's a lighter load, if it's lighter energy, it's easier to clear. If you're not paying attention to who your clients are and what groups you're speaking to, it can be very draining. And it's real. I did security work in Las Vegas, and it's going to take a toll. So when people say, hey, you're an energy, just put your light out there and get your crystals in your pocket and go out there and everything's great. You take in that energy, like it or not. You honestly, it's going to affect you.
Yeah.
It's going to bring you down. And so it is going to take a toll. Where are you being healthy? It takes longer to recover if there's a big event going on, or if there's a different circumstance going on, or there's different trauma that you're dealing with. And everybody's got stuff going on. You have thousands of people. You cannot combat that all. So when you're talking on a smaller scale, you have to be able to see, understand, feel on a frequency level. Is this feeling good? Is this healthy for me?
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's just your BS emotions and that monkey mind playing a deal. Give it a lollipop, throw it in the corner, go take a break. Throw it in the lake, whatever.
Put it in time out.
Yeah. Go for a nap. You're crying. Let that go. Sometimes it's releasing and letting that energy go in some way. Sometimes it's just move on from it. You don't have to relive that negativity. And you see it every day. It's like again and over again, and people are just reacting and just reactive and triggered to the same thing over and over again. That is energy that you're reflecting out there on just a small level.
Oh, yeah.
So why go into a large group of people when you're traumatized and bring that nasty energy over to those people? That's not okay. You have to think about your change. You cannot force that on other people. And if people are changing, be careful of your environment.
Yeah. What I see a lot with my clients is, you mentioned it before, you said the word, and I was like, oop, there it is. People pleasing. And the people pleasing leads, and I was a chronic people pleaser for years, and I've broken that habit now. And what I see is the people pleasing leads to a heightened nervous system. So your nervous system starts to vibrate. Imagine like electrical panel that is too many circuits are plugged in, and now it's overheating, right? So now it's starting to buzz, and the circuit panel is starting to not function right. Like you mentioned this before with the energy, we have to have more power, right? So you cannot continue to people please when your nervous system is getting too heightened, and you can't be authentic to yourself when your nervous system is too heightened and you're in fight or flight. You cannot do it. I've seen people try. It doesn't work. I've tried it. I've given it a good go. When you are in the wrong frequency. So I was a health and wellness coach, and I'm a certified aromatherapist, and I did that for 12 years. While I was doing that, I had, my business was part-time, and then another part-time gig I had was waiting tables. So I would go serve pizza and soda to people. And then I, like my night job, and then the day job would be healing people and telling them not to eat that and not drink that. So like man. Right. You see the dichotomy here of
two negatives coming together.
Exactly.
You can't, it ends up being two negatives instead of one positive, one negative.
Exactly. So when I was working in the service industry, just trying to quote, make money, right? I was literally negating the energy output of my business that I was passionate about. So it really wasn't working. I wasn't being authentic to me and my energy. And being a full leader. I was trying to people please and get a job and do it this way because this is what society told me to do. So it took years for me to really understand that and figure that out and kind of drop the guillotine and be like, no, I will no longer be in that field, that energy field. It does not work for me. I have to fully put my blinders on and just go the way that works for me. Now, that is scary. It is scary to take your 4 children and one on the way and then tell your husband, hey, you stay home with these kids. I'm going to make this business work and I'm going to support our family being an astrologer on the internet.
It's a leap.
That was a leap of faith like nobody's business. And
But you can take those leaps if you have a good support team.
Yep.
You have established the roles of what's now in the household.
Yes.
And not just that, but if you plan and strategize and you put a business plan together.
Exactly.
If this makes this amount of money, we'll go to step B.
Yep.
If it starts to lose money and we're in step B or C, we may have to backtrack and let that go. We may need to shift and say, oopsies, that didn't work, it failed. And knowing or not knowing, you have to be able to call that out and say, hey, this just didn't work. It's not everything is fail forward. You can't put the rose-colored glasses on and say, oh, this is so great. I'm just gonna have a kumbaya moment and everything's gonna be fine. It's not when you're losing stuff, especially if you have family to support.
Yes.
And if you're in the right space and you're doing the right things, you're taking accountability, big word.
Yeah.
People do not like action steps and accountability, but we have to learn. You don't have to love it. Like I told one of my coaches, I don't have to love it, do I? I said, I'm not going to fight you the whole way, but I'm going to tell you I don't like it.
Yes.
I'm not going to tell you why. I don't need to explain that away. I just need to say I may not like it, but I'll do it because I see that it's necessary. I'm not sacrificing myself. But on the other hand, are you truly sacrificing yourself and your clients when you're doing 2 polar opposite events like selling pizza and trying to heal people?
Exactly.
Well, you're no better than the pharmacy.
Yeah, exactly.
You're no better than the pharmaceutical people selling opioids out there. We're helping everybody, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. And now we've got money in the sales. We've got money in the correction. We've got money in the drugs and the therapy after. If you set the system up to bring that on all sides, that's not okay. However, if you do something good and you're doing it for the right reasons or the reasons that you know that are right, and it works for you and your crew of people, and your guides are all aligned in that, that's great. And that again goes back to the thought of Marcel Vogel is he was a scientist that could bring the receipts, that could bring the energy and say, hey, there's a strategy, a structure. Here's the education. He fought it for a while too. Until some lady called him. He's like, whatever, come on down. We'll try this frequency thing.
Yeah.
And that was when the life of plants, the secret life of plants was coming out about that same time. Plants have energy. They like this music. They don't like that music, or they like this music at different times. And again, it can be certain music for certain people, certain music for certain plants. If it's a stronger plant, it's probably going to a deeper, stronger music.
Yep.
Where a lighter plant is going to like something a little bit softer. So it's all different in everything, but there's a communication like fungus where we're all connected. I want to backtrack a little. I do have a question for you. Are people as bad as their dogs? Are they like their dogs?
I prefer dogs over people usually. I used to say as a dog trainer, my job was to go into their home and tell them they were stupid, but without saying that. I couldn't be like, hey, you're the problem. The dog is actually fine. You're the issue. So I had to really work around it and try and tiptoe around the tulips here to explain that they were the problem and the dog really wasn't. That was draining. It was really draining. And now people come to me and I get to tell them, here's where you're getting in your own way. And I get to just point blank say it out loud. So it's nice. I don't have to tiptoe through the tulips anymore.
It is. It's like people, their dogs and their kids are a lot of, oh, my kids are just bad on Sundays. No, they're bad every day.
Every day.
But
5 of them, they are.
You're only home on Sunday. You know when they're bad. But they're a reflection of their culture and their environment. And we are a reflection of our culture environment. And that brings us back to the point of, what are you working on? What's your business look like? What's the culture? Not just a culture out there, not just the competition, but your own culture. What's inside of you? Culture on a microscopic level, if you're taking a swab sample
Yep.
on a scientific level, you're taking a culture of what's inside of you. What's that virus? What's that mite? Whatever you've digested, maybe a tapeworm or something. You've got all this stuff living inside of you. You are an organism housing everything, and there's life within you and there's life without you. And to do this, which part of the game are you going to play? So when we get back into that relationship of how does that work on a business level, and it just very much does. And we're not talking about fear on I'm afraid of the morning or a fear of myself. And there's a lot of people out there. I want to ask you this, and maybe a little bit of a deeper question here, but
Go for
people
it.
talk a lot about fear. And some people, even including my friends, are afraid to just walk outside sometimes.
Yeah.
And or to change. And they're light workers. And I love my light workers. I hold events and I hold summits, and I want everybody to have a stage and to have visibility.
Yeah.
But you will not be a successful speaker or a podcaster or successful in business, and people will not invite you back if you bring that trauma and that fear and you embrace it like it's a badge of honor to be a victim every moment of every day.
Reach it.
So what say you when you're working with your clients? That's also client attraction and client alignment. What would you suggest to people? Because I would take somebody on as a client like that. You're welcome to go somewhere else or maybe get an online course from me, but we cannot have an energetic connection because I'm not a people pleaser.
Yep.
And I'm not going to try to fix you because I only got a couple Band-Aids, maybe some masking tape, and the rest of it's out the door.
Yeah. So this is a really great question. I love this. It actually makes me think of my mother. I love my mother. She's got my children today, but she's had a lot of trauma, and she has lived it with a lot of fear. And it's very interesting to kind of watch as I grow in confidence in myself. And it feels like the more confident I become in who I am and really stepping into my authentic role, which is really to blast people into a new life. That's really my job. But most of my life with my mom, she was always felt like I was too much, and she tried to make me smaller and, oh Lord, don't be so loud, or don't say that thing, or we got to dumb ourselves down in this environment. And that was her programming and her upbringing. And like I said, I love my mom and we have a good relationship. We're working on it and it's lovely. And she has a lot of fear. And so it's something that I was kind of raised with, is like what you were just describing with your little question there. And I ended up really understanding that is something that people wear because it becomes comfortable, right? They wear that fear, almost like this cloak of honor. You mentioned it before a little bit, right? Where they have this cloak of this is mine and I own it, and they claim it. And my job as a Aries sun sign and a Gemini moon and Gemini rising is to take my fire and information and blast that out of them. Almost, I always think of a water cannon or something. If you were to like take the fire hydrant and open it up and the water comes shooting out, and if you're standing in front of it, you'll get blown over. That's what I do for people, is almost get them out of their own way and blast the fear cape off of them and help them see all of the amazing talents, skills, and things they were programmed with. Yes, you have this fear. I can see that in your chart. Yes, I can see why you're hanging on to that. Yes, thank you for explaining that. And look at all of this amazing stuff you have, the talent for this, and you're super educated in this department, and this is the programming. And so I literally take off those glasses that they're wearing, and I'm like, here, put those down. We don't need the fear glasses. And let's put these glasses on. And I always like to think of myself as a perspective bringer, or like an eye doctor. You go to the eye doctor and they go A or B and C or D, and you get to see which one is better, which vision is better with this lens or this lens. And that's what I do. I give them the flavor. Here's the energy for this, and you could do this and that. And then here's the energy over here, and means this and that. Do you like to do this? And they're like, yeah, I used to do that all the time, but I don't do that anymore. I say, why not? Oh, I'm taking care of the kids, or whatever, 85 excuses, right? So it usually tells me they know the things they're good at. They know that they used to do that, and they just don't anymore because life got in the way. So my job is to blast the fear cape off, or the fear lenses, and give them a new perspective about all of the amazing stuff that's under there, and to not let it be clouded by, I always call it like this layer of grease, right? If you don't clean your stove and you make a bunch of hamburgers and stuff, you get this layer of grease. And then if you have cats or dogs and dust and stuff, and it builds up and builds up over time. That's what fear does, right? It's this buildup. And we have to do like a real deep cleaning and let that fear go and clean that grease off so that you can see all of the potential of this nice shiny stove and all the food you can make and all of the creative stuff you can do. So it is something I'm very familiar with. And it is something that I'm still working on myself. Of course, we all have fears. But like I said, what I found is the only way to deal with it is to kind of walk right through it. As if anyone's seen this Shawshank Redemption movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. You got to what does he say? You got to go through the shit to come out clean on the other side or something. It's a great line at the end of the movie when he's
I know what you're referring to.
Yeah.
You do. You have to. And if that grease, you don't clean that grease, it's like in Las Vegas in the middle of summer when they clean the grease pits. Not a good smell, not a good look. But they have 2 or 3 layers of doors in place to try to cut the smell out, and you can't always cut it out. So you got to take care of it. Think of it like your system, your body is your septic tank, right? Your colon, your stomach, are you clean?
Your
are
liver.
you healthy? You got to have some dirt. You got to have some grime in there. And you need that so you can develop your immune system against that. You want to have a strong immune system. So you can't whitewash everything out and be in this clinic environment. You're not meant to be in the hospital every day. When somebody drives a white car, I'm like, it looks like a washing machine. There's no personality there. It's all washed out. It's like that Wonder Bread. You can smoosh it together it's fun to play with.
It is.
It's like Play-Doh.
Smush it in a ball.
Yeah. Smoosh it in a ball. You can see how smashed up it can get, and it'll stay that way. It'll never mold because it's got all this stuff in it. But when we look at those kind of comparisons and you're looking at it like, okay, let's think of things in a different way. Let's start to change our thought. And I like what you do. It's really post-traumatic growth. And we teach that with confronting domestic violence victims when we have workshops. I'm a chairwoman of confronting domestic violence. But for me, it's a bad subject to talk about on all aspects. And that's true fear and pain that people have actually felt. And that's not a good situation. But you have to heal after that. But it's the next step, the next several steps that happen that you need to pay attention to. What's the post-traumatic growth in the long-term residual on that? So if you're looking at it from a business perspective, like residual income, you cannot make money off of something like a membership, a monthly membership. If it's not a good membership, it's not coming back. So in post-traumatic growth, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't heal, if you don't consistently stay with those habits that you've developed, and you drop everything, it's not to say we're not human, but if you drop everything, you're not going to make money. You're not going to have freedom. You'll just go back. And that's what keeps people going back to that negative place. But on the other hand, if you change with someone like Laura here, which is and you go through a program or work one-to-one with her, when you do that, it's something consistent. You have an accountability buddy. Somebody's looking at that. And you're not only healing yourself, you need to remember that you're healing the people around you. And if they don't want to go on your journey, they're going to hold on to that trauma. They're going to trauma bond their partners in pain. They want to cry at every turn. Look, hey, if you want to be a better, stronger woman, you cannot lose it at every aspect. You have to have some strength.
Right.
You have to have, doesn't mean to be stoic, and I get that. I am that person, but it doesn't mean you have to be that way all the time. Right. But it does mean that when it matters, that you are going to step up to the plate and do the job.
Absolutely.
And that's the change of the emotion. And when you're able to be successful and stand strong and come in the room and actually have a conversation instead of nagging the world, and then taking a video and posting it. Not everybody needs to see that. We don't all need to see that. There's some things we don't need to see. It doesn't mean that it's going to go viral. It's not good for your business. And that's one other subject that I'd want to ask about is that really, when you're in this bad energy and you've got all this bad juju coming out and you're putting this out there on a visibility scale, when people look at that, let's look at the part of people that and the business and the success of somebody. Again, back to that, I guess the people won't invite you back on their podcast. People
Right.
won't bring you into the group.
Mhm.
And when you do this, I want to heal. My point is to heal millions of people instead of just
Yes.
one.
Amen.
And when we heal ourselves, we heal the world, and then we're finding more solutions.
That's same here. Yep.
When people are coming into that life and that energy field of that they want to continue with the continuity of back to I want to heal my DNA and I want to heal my family line. Continue continuity of the suffrage. Where are you in the thought of a lot of these people? How do you look at it, or how can you help? Maybe we can
Mm.
problem solve for the solution
Yeah.
to say, hey, how do we find people instead of saying, okay, it's all okay? Let's solve for the solution of being visible to yourself.
Mm.
Feel you're not seen and
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah.
Perhaps you're not seeing
Yeah.
or hearing others or even yourself or your pain.
Exactly. So that's you just hit on exactly what I do. Is people come to me who need to have a look in the mirror at themselves in a new way. And so seeing themselves fully, almost a fully naked, really. It's an energetic nakedness when an astrologer really looks at your chart. Astrologer who knows what they're doing, not just like a horoscope in the newspaper. That's cute, but that's not what we're talking about. This is taking the moment of your birth, the location of your birth, and the date of your birth is like the area code and phone, country code, area code, and phone number. And that gets to your particular phone, right? So your birth chart is just like that. It gets to your particular chart. And then we need to really dive into all of those subtle nuances and the really subtle things that you feel deep inside, but you don't necessarily show and don't necessarily tell other people. And what I love to do is work with people. I have a lady I've been working with for 2 years now. Every single month, I meet with her monthly, and we just read every single month her chart. But there's so much more to it because the planets are always moving. So we have helped her with timing of things, whether it's launching her new business. She just moved to a new location, literally across the country. I'm helping her. I helped her transition through her mother's death. She was working on that. She lost 3 horses at the same time. I was working with her as she was going through all of these transitions and kind of these dark nights of the soul moments of her life. But to be able to have somebody who's from an outside perspective come in and say, yes, this is exactly right. This is the timing you are in. You're supposed to be feeling in the dark night of the soul. You're supposed to be feeling lost and alone. And that is where the goodness is. That's where the creative source comes from, is to literally have everything removed from you so that you can have clarity and you can have an open road. So to have somebody give you a different perspective that is a positive, we're not like happy washing it or something. We certainly helped her go through the dark energies of losing your mother and your cat and your 3 horses and ending it with a bad relationship and like all of the things she went through, and helping her to see what was she supposed to be learning through that. What were the lessons, the deeper lessons? And you brought up generational stuff. That is very much in people's birth charts. And I love talking about the generational trauma, not only of this life, so your parents and your grandparents, but also our soul's generational trauma, the past life stuff our soul has endured, and what we really came here to clear in this life cycle, in this earth school experience. And that plays a huge role in what we're doing and the fear that we have. So that's what I talked about before, is like we're almost like a later layer of onions, right? Where you keep peeling and peeling to get to your authentic self on the inside. But you've got to peel it and cry and peel and cry and release and let that all out, because the crying is cleansing, or you need to create, do some art, whatever it is, but releasing it somehow so that you can really blossom and step into your full authentic self without carrying that generational baggage along with you. Understanding it, recognizing it, but not yanking it around and carrying this anchor around with you and wondering why you have this anchor. you can go, oh yeah, there's that generational crap. Let's set that down. We don't need it. Thank you. I'm going to take this lesson and this lesson from it and put it in my pocket. And then we're going to move on. We don't need to carry the whole suitcase with us. So that's my favorite thing to do, is help people with that generational stuff, because it really is a big deal, especially with the feminine, because we are in a society where women were not able to own businesses until the 80s. This is a thing. My 36 years ago was when we could finally own a business. That is insane to my brain. I was here on this earth when women could not own businesses, and my mom was getting married when she could finally have her own checking account without a male. So there's a lot of feminine lineage stuff to heal with just confidence and knowing that you can push through that pain and you can do that, even though it's set up on a patriarchal platform. We do have a foot as this feminine energy, this matriarchal energy, and it is important and it is very needed. So I help people lean into those traumas healing, the trauma healing and the understanding of all that, and work that into their goal and their path as well.
Well, and that's great, because we can reward people for the change. We can reward people for the transformation, and we can say, yeah, leave it behind you. Take the trash out. Clean out your closet. It's more space for new clothes.
And when you clean your closet, it never looks pretty while you're cleaning it. Okay. It's always crap when your closet is puked out on your bed, you guys. Okay.
It looks horrible. And yes, we do this. And I know we women do this a lot. I have friends. I used to work in home care. And, when people start to even hoard, it's their favorite thing, like a kid. Oh, that's my favorite toy. You haven't played with that in 3 years. It's at the bottom of the bucket. It's at the bottom of the toy chest.
Yep.
It's broken. Let's let that go. Maybe it's time to go. And sometimes it's better to give it to somebody else to heal and let them take that on. And that's what I think that you do very well. And this gives us the ability, and you clean out the closet, you've got more room for new things. And that's like life. It's like the abundance. We're not supposed to clear our bank accounts. We're supposed to clear our closet. So we start to get these things together, and generational trauma. And yes, women's movement and this movement and that movement. It's great stuff. But we are in a place now where I would love to see that people start to say, you know what, thank you for where we're at. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy that those changes come. We can be equals within our home. We can be equals within the workforce. We can be equal to a point where you're not supposed to be exact. And you cannot be equal unless you are exact. And that's perfection. And we, in some sense, should strive for it, but we cannot be perfect. And remembering that we are unique and different. And let's go back to embracing that. And go back to, okay, we can all have businesses. We can all make money. We can all have our own life and our own freedom, but we can have this together in a community as well. And that it's not the bad place that you hear all the time to say, oh, it's miserable. I don't have this or that person. They do. They do. People have this. We just need to start to show them and guide them. It's the same with leadership skills. It's the same with accountability. It's the same with the strength. And you want to become a mentor, you have to be able to see within yourself and to see outside of yourself, to see that you have risen up. And that's awareness. Not to put, and with that awareness is not to push the other person down.
Never.
Let's not do that. If you felt that you had a bad time, you don't go to the neighbor's house and pop him in a face and say, hey, I had a bad day. I'm gonna punch you in the face. Then he's going to go punch his kid. Let's look at this. It's just silly what we are doing, the arguments that we're having. And I look at it like, what do you mean you can't do that? Right. Maybe you just don't have the how. And if we start to find for solutions, it's more showing the how. How do I do this? How do I get there? What are the next steps? And that's why the great thing is AI has come forward and things like technology, because there is a place for the technology that allows us to set it and forget it. You can sell your membership. You can sell your courses all online. You can sell your books. And then you can walk away and go be creative somewhere else and birth a new project and be that great person. And when we do this and we let go instead of living in that filth, you don't have to relive that bad experience. It's almost like playing the game over and over, Pac-Man, over and over, rebooting the game, and people want to stay in that fear. So as we move forward, and because my thing as an event host and as a person who does podcasts and getting people on the stage and sharing that it's okay to come on the stage and speak. Not everybody wants to hear that pain in the story. So if you look at it from a speaker's perspective, if you come presentable, you brush your hair, you get the broccoli out of the teeth. You don't have to worry if you showered. Nobody can tell. Maybe you want to put pants on. Maybe you don't, but present well in who you are, whether you have makeup on or not, but present well to the people and to the camera.
Yeah.
So that people will invite you back, and your energy is everything. If you're telling a story, and I deal with a lot of victims in my lifetime, whether it's people with PTSD coming back from the army, veterans, people with Alzheimer's, domestic violence victims, or just people in their moment of a crisis in life, when you let that go and you start to tell your story, don't hold on to that trauma. That's not what gets people motivated.
No.
Telling them, oh, you just need to be happy. That's not what gets them to motivate. Hey, smile, you look good. It's the worst thing to say to anybody, because it's like, what are you trying to get to? If you want to say something nice, compliment somebody. Don't put them down. Don't be a passive. Don't be in the negative with it when you're telling somebody they have to do something.
Yep.
Say, hey, I saw you smiling. That looks good. It's your words. It's your language. And when we start to look at this, people invite you back, and now you're visible. Now you can get heard.
Yeah.
If you feel you're not getting heard, call me. I'll help you create a stage. You can have your group of people with blue backgrounds, or people that like chakras, or whatever your group thing is, purple people eaters.
Yep.
You can create that stage. If you don't find the group, you cannot force other people to give you that. It does not work well. You can get on your soapbox and beat your drum all day, but if you want to get invited back, you've got to assimilate it some form or fashion to the group. If that doesn't work for you, it doesn't mean be a cult.
No.
It doesn't mean follow them, dress like them,
No.
sound like them 100%. Some point of this has to be professional, and that comes through your business. You are your brand. You're always selling yourself.
Absolutely.
And if you cannot get on the mic, if you cannot unmute, then you learn a few things. And then once that is, maybe it's just not fear. And then you go, oh, it's that simple. Yes. Now move forward. Now you are presentable. People like you. They invite you back, or you have your own group, and you can bring those people with you, and you can do for them and form groups that maybe you didn't have. And that's being inventive. And we need to be inventive, especially in this day of AI, because it's that creativity. It's the life that we birth. It's the breathing. It's the life, the heartbeat, the soul that we have that AI will never have.
Exactly.
So instead of living in Farscape land, we want to be with these people moving forward. And that's a great way to be visible. And finding someone online that can help you does not negate really the ability to have community or family or speak. And if you can talk to your customers, if you can have patience there, and you do need it as an entrepreneur, and of some self-control, and that's also scheduling some me time.
Yes.
And that's getting some coaching from someone that can help you align in that way, so that you can have a better business, or know what maybe you don't need, and it's not that stressful, instead of constantly creating the stress or masking it.
Yes.
In such a large way that we always want to mask it and then come out from whatever way we are being intoxicated, or however we do that, or get away from that, cover up with that addiction. And that's very toxic. So if we can find a way to clear and be healthy and go out, I want to give you the last words. This is a great conversation, but I'll give you the last words. Anything that you want to say for people to do, maybe something that they can turn the podcast off or go and do for themselves, and then where to find you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I'm going to branch off what you just said, is make sure to have me time. I think one of the top things that I end up giving advice for in client interactions is helping them understand what that me time looks like for them. Some people, it is sitting and whittling wood. Some people, it's taking your dog out, right? It's different for everybody. But a lot of humans feel like, selfish when they're taking time to do the things they enjoy. And I am definitely am still a little bit in that category. And recognizing that if you do not honor the way you need downtime, whether it is, for me, it's sewing and creating. I'm a very creative person, painting, sewing, everything. If I do not give myself hours a week doing that, everything else in my business, everything else with my kids, my family gets thrown really off, and I get very angry. And circle back around to the beginning of the conversation, we talked about anger. That for me is a symptom. And the underlying issue that needs to be addressed is I need to go be alone and be creative. I need to not be business mom or businesswoman, not be mom, not be wife. I need to just go be Laura creative. And that is something I honor so much in people's charts. And I've had more people go, wow, I didn't know I needed to have more art time. I had one girl who's 25. I was like, could you go get yourself some markers and a coloring book, please? She said, that sounds amazing. And I was like, well, why do I have to give you permission for that? She's, I don't know, but you do. And I did. And she did it. And she messaged me 2 weeks later. She's, I can't stop coloring, and my business is thriving and my work is thriving, and I keep coloring. And I was like, it's the healthy balance. And you talked about before about having things balanced. And for me, balance does not look stagnant. It is not this scale equals this scale. It's more harmony where it moves back and forth. And it's like a chord on a piano. These notes sound good together. That to me is balance. So the harmony within your life is so important in order for you to grow a business, in order for you to do your job, in order for you to be a good mom, a good wife, a good person to yourself, and give your beautiful gift to the world you're here to do. You have to take care of yourself, and you have to have that quiet downtime. Maybe for you, it's reading books in bed in a nice snuggly blanket that is just your ultimate happy place. Cool. Do that and don't feel bad about it. So those are the things I really help people honor about themselves. Not just, hey, step into the entrepreneur or step into this role, but also take the downtime and breathe. Go put your feet in the lake and just breathe. Go sit and color. It's okay. Have that healthy balance, that give and take. You have to take for yourself. It's crucial. And that healthy word is important in there too, right? Can't overtake either, right? So yeah, that's what I love to do, you guys. And it's been so much fun. So you can find me, lauraleelotto.com is my website. There's all kinds of resources on there if you want to schedule a chat to see if this is something you want to work with me. I have a discovery call on there that's free, but if you're interested in just diving in and scheduling a session, you can do that too. But yeah, groups and helping people create community is something I'm also quite passionate about, much like you are, Nicole, which is what drew me to you. I'm very Aquarian energy. We have a farm here in Wisconsin called the Aquarian Acres. And Aquarius is all about working in groups, but staying true to yourself and being an individual who is authentically yourself that then gives to the group energy your unique gift. So if you give your unique gift, Nicole, and I give my unique gift, and we work together in this group within this harmony, this harmonious energy, we are doing exactly what we came here to do, exactly what our chart is asking us to do. So that's what I love to do. And yeah, hope this was helpful for people.
Absolutely, because find a way to get rid of that addiction to fear, that addiction to trauma. Replace it with something else. We don't have to be addicted. No. It's a word. It's like allegedly. Everybody overuses
or literally.
it. I'm allegedly human. I'm allegedly here. I'm alleged. Yeah. But really, let's get rid of that addiction to fear, and we can move forward and find that fear is there. There's anger, there's sorrow, there's sadness, there's happy, there's gratitude. There's so many wonderful things in the system that is us. And I love that. And when you find your soul aligned tribe, you will generate soul aligned leads.
Yes.
And your clients will come to you when you're aligned in the right place. It has to be a give and take. I love the harmony instead of the balance. I'm all for the scales of justice, but it's never totally aligned. It never will be. It's not just black and white. It's really, there's a gray area, and it's our experience, our education, and what we understand and know that allows us to be a good witnessing life and being part of life. And it's so good to be part of life with you here. And so go out, grab a stage, guys, get on a stage, talk about what you love and what you do, but give some takeaways. Give some good takeaways, and you can have those good takeaways when your mind is right and you're in the right place and you have a great accountability partner like Laura, and all the information will be below. And don't forget to click those links, guys. Thank you so much. See you on the flip side.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to a world of unforgettable experiences and immersive marketing. Transform your events into extraordinary moments that captivate your audience. Whether it's corporate gatherings, product launches, or community celebrations, our immersive marketing solutions elevate your events to new heights. Immerse your attendees in a world of audiobooks and podcasts tailored to your brand. Engage their senses and leave a lasting impression. Explore the power of storytelling with our curated podcast content. From insightful discussions to entertaining narratives, we've got the perfect audio experience for your event. Ready to make your next event unforgettable? Scan the QR code now and book a complimentary immersive marketing call with our experts. Let's create memories together. Elevate your events with immersive marketing. Scan the code and let the magic begin.
Let's be real. You keep saying you'll get visible after things totally calm down, right? Meanwhile, your calendar is feral like a crazy cat. All over the place, colors, you can't even remember what they are anymore. Your inbox is totally on fire. Yeah, you wish you could set fire to it. And later has been lying to you for years because you know what? The truth is, you are the best kept secret, my friend. You're busy doesn't equal visible. Hard work doesn't magically broadcast itself across the radio waves. Nope. That's why the Brew and Stew Media Spotlight exists. That's right. A collaboration between Nicole Borghi and Colleen Stubbs. One booking, two podcasts, no pitching, no chasing, no pretending you enjoy the outreach. We know you don't. Nobody does. You show up, you talk like the authority you already are. Your message gets heard on purpose to an aligned audience. Stop waiting. Stop hiding behind the busy button and book your Brew and Stew Media Spotlight package now. Because staying invisible is a choice, and you're not going to do it anymore. You're going to be visible. You're going to be influential. Scan the QR code. Make that choice for the Brew and Stew package. Busy, booked, exhausted. Your inbox is screaming at you like a siren. Your calendar is still feral. Still calling yourself visible, and you're just the best kept secret? Turns out, I was right there with you, my friend. Wasn't getting seen, was just the best kept secret. Wasn't getting heard, definitely, kind of getting paid. But here, the magic, my friend. It's a collaboration between Colleen Stubbs and Nicole Borghi. The Voice Lab on the school platform shows you how to use podcast spotlights, summit stages, and simplified, yeah, that's right, simple outreach systems so your visibility actually works. Get seen, get heard, join the free Voice Lab on the school platform, and you're going to get it all. Because if you're working this hard, someone else should know about it. Scan the QR code today.